The concept of soulmate, also known as twin flame, is something many of us encounter throughout life. This idea suggests that at some point, we'll stumble upon someone who will be our other half, complementing us deeply and uniquely. The expectation is that this person will have a special connection with us, generating exceptional compatibility and an impactful relationship. However, the question arises, does the soulmate really exist? Or is it just an illusion created by society to give us hope of finding a lifelong companion? This is a question we'll tackle in this video, but before that, I ask you to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to help us keep producing content. The quest for a soulmate can be influenced by various factors, including a biological imperative that drives us to find a partner for reproduction and to start a family. This tendency is natural to humans as well as to other animal species. So, there's a biological imperative in all of us that drives us to seek someone to reproduce with, which consequently makes us feel that we'll find our soulmate. In addition to the biological imperative, another reason is also the influence of good family experiences that also play a significant role in believing that there is a soulmate, an ideal person for us. For example, observing long-lasting relationships, such as perhaps those of our grandparents or parents, can lead us to believe in the viability of a lifelong partnership. So, if you grew up having models of long-lasting relationships, you probably feel that one day you will also find a partner for life. Of course, it's important to recognize that not all relationships were perfect in the past. Although divorce was less common before, it didn't mean the absence of problems, such as betrayals and abuses, etc. Because there was a time when divorce didn't exist and was frowned upon in society. Therefore, despite relationships being more enduring in the past, it doesn't mean it was always a bed of roses. But still, despite everything, we had the influence of our own families, and this also reinforces our belief in the idea of a soulmate. For example, when children grow up with parents in long-lasting and healthy relationships, many begin to believe that their parents are the epitome of soulmates. However, nowadays, families are increasingly facing divorces, and children are growing up without parental models, either of a father or a mother. Usually, it's the mother who takes on the upbringing of the children, often holding custody of them, as laws tend to favor women in this regard, even when the man wishes to have custody of the child. In other words, we see a growth in single-parent families, and increasingly children no longer have family models to follow. The media and culture also play a significant role in shaping the idea of a soulmate. Romantic movies, TV series, and Disney fairy tales fuel the notion of happily ever after, especially among women who are more susceptible to these narratives. However, this idealization can distort our perception of reality. Many of us grow up with the expectation of finding our soulmate, the person with whom we'll share a happy life, but most of the time, it doesn't happen like in fairy tales. The media, especially romantic comedies, reinforce this overly romantic view of love, while real-life relationships are increasingly fleeting. It's like these two realities clash in our heads. Unfortunately, the current scenario is marked by the fluidity of relationships, with frequent divorces and growing loneliness among the elderly. People are having fewer children worldwide, and this is increasing the elderly population. So, although there are various reasons why people believe in a soulmate and are fascinated by this concept, there's no guarantee that we'll find our soulmate or even have a happy ending with this person. It's a fantasy that culture sells us, but in reality, finding a compatible partner and building a lasting relationship requires work, commitment, and apparently, a lot of luck. So, do many people aspire to divorce or have liquid relationships? No. What happens is that you see many people who think they've found the right person, marry and have children, but after some time, divorce happens. Sometimes due to financial problems, fights, or even comparisons with the single life, etc. There are countless reasons, but with the advent of social media, comparisons have become more prevalent, affecting mainly women who often initiate the separation. If memory serves me right, divorce is initiated by women in 80% of cases. This shows us that in this life, nothing is forever. Relationships are ephemeral, more than ever nowadays. One of the main reasons within numerous variables for a divorce to occur is physical attraction. Our physical attraction to the other person changes. The person won't always be at the peak of their beauty, which can affect the dynamics of the relationship. So it's essential to have a mental connection beyond physical attraction if you want to have a lasting relationship. But why am I talking about all this? I had this content idea because I also believed that one day I would find the right person, my soulmate. I had a brief relationship in which I believed I had found my soulmate. Even some religious and spiritual circumstances made me believe in this idea, and everything indicated that there was a connection from past lives. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that a connection from past lives is always a good thing, for those who believe, of course. But I had to rethink this idea after the breakup and came to a much later conclusion that there wasn't a genuine soul connection, but rather a karma. But one day, calmly, I'll tell you this story in detail in another video. Reflecting on the concept of soulmate, it's hard to believe in its literal existence. As complete individuals, we don't need another person to complete us. Also, if relationships on Earth are ephemeral, why should we think they would be eternal after death? I believe that the only truly eternal relationship is friendship. Romantic relationships can transform into lasting friendships, but I highly doubt they are eternal, even in eternity. For example, if you had a spouse and you passed away earlier than her, she would continue her life and most likely remarry or have another relationship, and the opposite could happen too. So I ask you, would people who had relationships and marriages after the death of their spouse or partner leave these current partners to be with their ex-partners after death or not? It's something to think about. It's important to be realistic and understand that love can be impactful in our lives, but it may not fit into the traditional concept of a soulmate. I hope all subscribers find someone who loves them and brings them happiness in this life, even if they're not a soulmate. Genuine love can have an immensely positive impact on our lives. So, that was a reflection on the existence of a soulmate and how we can find meaning and happiness in relationships, even without this concept. If you think this content is important for someone, share it. Don't forget to also give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to help us continue our work. Until next time.